Shut up and sit down.
Well, they say all good things come to an end.
What's that got to do with this show?
Nice ride, it's a nice time when you're on a nice ride, riding with your best friend. Nice ride, it's a nice time when you're on a nice ride, riding with your best friend.
Oh, I like to ride my bike.
You are listening to the Dialed Podcast with Matt Legrand, Evan Price, Lance Heppler, and Jake Von Turing. Want to control your destiny? Well, this little green frog once said, life's like a movie, write your own ending. Yeah, I like that.
Thinking this morning, walking and driving is so boring. It doesn't cost much, and there's no gas. It's I tell him that I loved him.
Nice ride, it's a nice time when you're on a nice ride, riding with your best friend. Nice ride, it's a nice time when you're on a nice ride, riding with your best friend.
That was awesome!
Hi, and welcome back to the Dow Podcast. I'm Jake Von Turing, and I'm here with Matt Legrand.
What's up, ladies and gentlemen of the internet? You guys look freaking fantastic. It's always fantastic, too.
And coming to us over the Verizon network again, Lance friggin' Heppler. With an emphasis on friggin' right now. Just friggin' Heppler. That's it.
The most hated man in Clark County at the moment. Yes, I have to skip.
And maybe certain parts of Arizona, too. I don't know.
That could be possible.
How you guys doing?
We're good.
Yeah, what's new?
Not much.
Not much, Lance?
I'm great, man.
You're looking like a little tan there, dude.
Oh, yeah.
Jackhole.
Make sure you're putting sunscreen. Are you using sunscreen every day?
I did not today. I just finished like a 6-mile ride that took like 4 hours with like 5,000 feet of climbing just like an hour ago, and we drove back, and I like rushed in here to do this. So I think I did get a little bit of sun today.
Yeah.
So
No sunscreen, though?
Sunscreen up, dude.
I did. I was covered head to toe. It was like 45 degrees when we started. So
okay.
I didn't put any on my face. I always forget to because it just sweats in the pulse.
Do they apply that for you down there, Lance?
That's the level of service.
Lather it up and rub you down?
There are big, huge jugs filled with sunscreen all over the place in the garage. So yeah, they probably if we ask.
Awesome. All right, well let's do a podcast, boys.
What you talking about, Willis?
Bro, what are you talking about, man?
What are you talking about?
What are we talking about?
Are you talking about?
You don't know what you're talking about.
I don't know.
What are we talking about?
I don't know. I think I have a topic for this week. How about this?
What's that?
Let's talk about jackholes who go to cycling camp before training camp and do cycling stuff for like weeks on end. Let's talk about training camps.
Cycling vacations.
Cycling vacations. There should be like a theme song just for that alone, right?
Yeah, cycling vacations. That could use a theme song for sure.
Yeah.
All right.
It's a timely subject matter.
Let's first start by talking about what the hell Lance Heppler's up to right now. If you're not following him on Instagram and Facebook and Strava, you probably don't know, but Lance is down in Arizona somewhere playing bikes in a very grandiose way. Where are you at, Lance? What you got going on? And what's this place called?
I'm in Tucson, Arizona at the cycling house. The cycling house is it's a cycling vacation thing that was developed by a couple of young guys almost 20 years ago. They were in their 20s when they started this. Owen, and I don't know Owen's last name, and Brendan Halpin. And they were kind of pros that weren't like going to be moving on or up in the ranks, and they decided to start this, and it just kind of developed from there. So they have a property here in Tucson, Arizona that they do week-long cycling trips for people. It caters to all levels of cyclists. And they usually run from December through March down here. And then they do trips in in Montana, and they also do trips all over Europe as well, Mallorca and Tuscany, and yeah.
So these guys unlock the key to like success and riding bikes and doing everything and having fun doing it. And they're hosting camps at their own place, and then they go all around the world doing the same thing.
Yes, it is a brilliant. It's brilliant. Now, COVID actually was very difficult for them, but it has been a good thing for them now that we're kind of through all that. But they meet new people every week. They have, I don't know, 7 or 8 different guides that rotate through on the different trips. And, there's 15 to 20 people here at a every week. And it's been a lot of fun.
Okay. So give us a breakdown of what each day looks like. You wake up in the morning, and then what happens?
They have a gourmet chef here that just cooks for us everything. Most people know that I'm vegan. I let them know beforehand that I was vegan. She makes me a special plate every night. I did not want to be singled out. I was not trying to be difficult, and she just hey, no problem, this is your vacation, so we will take care of you. So she makes, if they have they had braised pork shoulder last night, and I had jackfruit, braised jackfruit.
There you go. It's close.
In the rice,
kind of.
Yeah, so it was really very good. So you wake up in the morning, there's stretching session and gourmet breakfast. We usually leave on a ride about 9:30 in the morning. The rides have been, roughly 50 miles each day.
Can I ask you,
I'm the idiot.
Can I ask you a question about this real quick? So on the rides, I'm guessing how many, what'd you say, 12 people there?
12 people.
Okay.
Yeah.
Of the 12 people, I mean, there's going to be some disparity between ability levels and fitness and all that other stuff. How do they handle that when the group gets separated? They have people that'll stay behind with slower people, or is it regroups, or is it not training?
Yes. I am by far the fastest guy here this week. But there is another guy from England who is roughly my age who came over for the week, and I've been able to ride with him all week. So, so far it's been great. He stays with me. He will stay on my wheel. He will take a few pulls. But we've been trying to kind of stay together so that we're not both kind of alone. So luckily, we're about the same. If I am going a little bit harder, all of the guides are extremely good cyclists. So there's been a few big, long downhill rolling segments, which are kind of my jam, that I have gone full gas on. And one of the guides, he's probably in his mid-20s. I don't know how old he is, but he's on a gravel bike keeping up with me. No problem.
Oh, nice. So that's how he kind of neutralizes himself just a little bit, huh? That's great.
Yeah. So, and today, the ride was only 55 miles, but most people only did 40. And I ended up kind of way ahead of the group, so they sent me down a spur road for an extra 10 miles so that I would finish more or less with everybody else.
How many guides are going out on each ride?
There's 2 guides. So there's one that kind of stays with the front and one that stays with the back and make sure everybody's okay. But with me and this other guy from England, they have, they put out the routes every day. I'm able to download the route. So I've always got the route on my computer. And so they kind of don't worry about me. They're like, oh, Lance is fine. He's got the route. It's going to be okay. He just gives me a couple directions and says, go for it. Have a good time. Yeah.
Cool.
So
any issues for you thus far on any of the rides? No, that's good.
Yeah.
None
whatsoever.
Cactus needles?
I have not. I have not crashed. I have not gone off road into the cactus. It's been pretty good. The big day, the finale of this camp is to climb Mount Lemmon here in Tucson. And that's roughly a 23-mile climb and gains 5,500 feet, almost 6,000 feet in 25 miles. So that's the last day, Saturday. So that will roughly be a 3-hour climb. People have heard of Mount Lemmon. It's
sure.
the proving ground. down here. So
Gotcha. Okay.
yeah, that's just,
So let's finish out. Let's round out the day. So you finish up your ride. You head back to the compound there. What does this compound look like? What's the feel of the place?
it's a giant, beautiful place. Everybody's in bedrooms that have their own bathrooms. I'm out in the yurt because I was one of the last ones to agree to come or whatever, or register for it. But there's a pool and there is a hot tub, and the gourmet chef will have hors d'oeuvres for you. And there might be a stretching session. And then they announce dinner. And then there's some fancy, they serve you dinner. It's not like a buffet. It's like, it's cycling vacation. They really take care. It's been pretty cool. So that's kind of how the day works out. So you wake up, breakfast, you go ride for 3 or 4 hours. You come back, you eat lunch, you go sit in the hot tub, you take a nap, and then you eat dinner, and then you're in bed by 8:30.
Sounds awesome to me.
Oh, and then your wife just dropped you off there, blew you a kiss, and said, "Have fun at Camp Lance." Yep. That is fantastic. So far, so good then, yeah?
Yeah, it's been fantastic. Do you want to? So I'm in the yurt. I'm going to walk through so you can kind of tell everybody what.
Lance just left his yurt.
Walking on some gravel.
I am walking on gravel.
There is cactus in the background.
Yep.
Yeah.
Wait, Lance is getting attacked by a large scorpion. Just kidding.
That is a beautiful property.
Wow,
Look
nice,
at that.
Cool.
And some people sitting in
with
the spa there.
a bunch of lovely ladies.
Hello.
They're all waving.
That's funny.
Cool and this big nice deck area, and so it's really comfortable for stuff like this.
Gotcha.
So they go ahead.
We're going to be heading down for our team training camp to Tucson in about a month's time. As a matter of fact, I think it's like a month from Saturday, if I'm not mistaken. But
yes,
how far away are they from where we will be staying? Do you have any idea?
Yeah, that house is roughly the house that we've rented.
Yeah.
Is roughly like 4 miles from here.
You're kidding me.
From here.
It's close.
That's nice. Now, have you had a chance to go check out that house, that property?
I haven't been there yet. It's got a big private gate
Uh-huh.
on it, and we owed to get in it yet, so I haven't tried to get in it yet.
Gotcha.
So
Okay. Now, you just walked through a garage that looked a little bit more like a bike shop over there. Do they have full mechanic services? Are they like running through and tuning your bike for you every night?
they are fixing up bikes. This is Zeb. This is and Matt.
Hey, what's up?
How's it going?
Well, glad to be on the podcast. Nice to have a little bit of. Well, it's audio, but
That's right. That's one of the guides, and he's also the photographer.
Oh, nice.
Wow.
These two guys are. So he photographs and GoPros things and has whatnot. So it's been all good. It might still be in too noisy.
No,
okay.
Wait, we should
They're
ask
doing
him all
them-
kinds of camera questions.
Go for it, Matt. Ask him.
Brand of camera? Do you preference for? Do you have a preference for like brand of cameras?
I've been a Nikon guy forever.
Nikon.
I feel like I should be a Canon guy, but I've been doing Nikon.
Nice, nice.
Sweet.
Stick with what works, especially if you have lenses, right?
Yeah, the glass gets
Exactly.
expensive.
Yep.
Very cool. What's your background in cycling? Are you ex-pro-ish Conti guy? Or are you one of them, or?
Tour de France.
There you go.
Like just no, a bunch of cyclocross.
Oh,
cool.
nice.
mainly cyclocross.
Yeah.
And you're from
Missoula.
Missoula,
Oh,
Montana.
Okay.
Okay.
There you go. Very cool. All right. Well, we appreciate that. Now, is Lance being a good camper down there? Is he behaving himself, or has he been quite the pain in the ass?
I'm out a few.
A couple timeouts.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm off the front. I'm causing problems. They've had to wrangle me.
It sounds about right. I mean, I think we may have done that or dealt with that once or twice in our day. Very cool.
Jacob, he's another one of the guys here. He's actually our trip leader, our co-trip leader for the week. And yes. And this is Michael Loomis. He is also the co-trip leader for the week and one of the guys. So,
hey, Michael and Jacob.
Question?
Oh,
Yes.
I just wanted, I'd love to get a little bit more of a breakdown as to like how this brainchild came together, how it's going, and kind of what your thoughts are for the future with it. It's an awesome idea.
The cycling house, you mean?
Yes.
Yeah.
I'll let you take it.
Okay. Owen GUE is he's the founder and owner of the cycling house, and he used to race professionally. And he came down here for training camps, and they use the same model in pro training camps where they all stay in a house. They have a chef, they have a masseuse, they go out and do rides. They all come back, live together while they're doing the training camp. And he thought, wouldn't that be great if we did that for just normal folks like us, normal riders? And so that's how the whole thing started. And he started by just renting a house down here in Tucson for the season, and then bringing people down, and it's grown over the last. This is the 18th year.
18th
About
year.
6
Wow.
years.
Yeah.
Yeah. About 6 years ago, he was able to buy this house. So he bought this house on a deal, has put a crap load of work into it.
It was a bank-owned property that they were able to get pretty inexpensively. So and
Okay.
put a bunch of work into it.
Yeah.
Nice.
It's been vacant for about 4 years. Bought it.
Yeah.
And
But it's on the perfect side of town because we're right near Mount Lemon, and couple of really good rides right out of the house. So we don't have to do a lot of shuttles. We did a shuttle today down south, but most of the time we're riding right out of the house, And so, yeah, it's a great concept, and really brings people together because we're all hanging together in one place instead of being at a hotel and everybody goes off to their room. We all stay together and we all see each other in the morning coming out for that first cup of coffee, before you get your game face on. So
Gotcha.
It's yeah.
No, it seems like you guys are doing just well. How tough was it during COVID for you guys to keep things going forward?
It was pretty rough. I don't think either of us were actually with when COVID broke out, but I used to work for Moots, and we used to do a lot of partnering with the cycling house, and so I've known for many years. And for any kind of tour business, it was rough. These guys they started doing some private trips. They moved to a different venue here in Tucson where they had individual cabins to keep people separated. But for the most part, they were almost completely shut down for a year, and then gradually brought it back.
Good. Yeah, it's that was tough for a lot of folks, but it's awesome to see that you guys are thriving. From what Lance is saying, you guys are doing quite well, and it sounds like things are pretty busy down there. So kudos to you guys. Hats off for running a great business model.
Thank you. It's been pretty awesome. That's for sure. We have last already.
Right.
Jacob's the guy that has been kicking my ass.
Uh-oh, you froze up there.
Yeah, perfect timing.
Yeah. Lance, if you you just froze up. We missed that. You said Jacob is the guy that was kicking your, and it froze. So sorry about that.
He's gravel bike. He's the one keeping up with me,
Nice.
I'm keep up with several
I
things.
don't know, man. My legs are in a world of hurt right
Oh,
now.
that makes me feel better.
Oh.
I don't know.
Now, Lance, will you guys strictly just do road, or are you guys going to do some gravel down there as well?
This week is just a road camp.
Okay.
So they do have gravel and road camps both, but this week is just a road camp. I did bring my gravel bike, and I might sneak away tomorrow afternoon for a little gravel adventure, but we'll kind of see how that goes. Yeah.
Excellent. Cool. Anything else you guys want to tell us about the cycling house? Anything that you want to share with the people that listen to this? And it's kind of crazy, but I think we're at 35 countries from around the world where people listen to this podcast, and we get quite a few different unique listeners all the time. So if you want to take a second to plug your outfit there, that'd be fantastic.
Yeah, the thing with the cycling house that I noticed is that there's a real feeling of a team between the people that we work with here. Everybody pulling together, and it's just amazing how much repeat business we get. We always have people that have come on 5, 6, 7 trips. People come to the cycling house year after year after year because they get an experience here, a rich experience that they don't get anywhere else in their cycling vacation. So for a lot of people, it's more than a vacation. They'll come down here and it's training, but it's fun. So, that's what we all get out of it.
That's a testament.
It's all about.
Yep. Testament that you're doing something right if you got that much repeat business. That's fantastic.
Is the best place for people to find you thecyclinghouse.com?
That's correct.
Okay.
Yep, that's the place. Yep.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Jacob, anything else?
Yeah, I was just gonna say that model really is the same wherever we're doing trips. So we do a lot in Tucson, Montana, some in Mallorca, some in Italy, and anywhere you go, you're eating great food. That's very cycling specific. We've got chefs that are making that food for us, and that dinner is always a great spot to bring us together where people are going out, maybe having slightly different experiences on the bikes, but we always come together, share a great meal. And every trip you're meeting amazing people from different backgrounds, different cycling backgrounds and professional backgrounds. And just building relationships through common interests, which is awesome.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Hey,
The food has been unexpectedly exceptional. It has been very.
That's good.
Yeah.
Just out of curiosity, is there a cap on the number of people that you will take in for a given week?
Generally, it's about 15 here, 15, 16.
Okay.
Some of it's just the number of bedrooms that we have, how many singles there are, and that kind of thing. But generally 15, 16 is kind of we don't go too much over that. Montana gravel camps, I know a couple times we had a little bit higher number, which we have to get you on one of those trips. Montana gravel,
I
man.
think I need to do that.
Yes.
Yeah.
Excellent. I asked because we've got a cycling team and we're going to actually be down there in a month for our training camp, but we just rented a house. But what you guys are describing here sounds awfully spectacular. We might have to change some things up in the future and try this out.
Totally.
It could be good.
Yeah, we're a lot of private trips. So, you can talk to the office about doing a private. So we keep some weeks open just to do, private bookings.
Okay. That would be fantastic. Cool. Well, hey, appreciate the time, guys. Unless there's anything else you have to say or you want to talk about. Thank you. Lance.
Yeah, I know.
You're a jackhole. I hate you that much more, dude. I said, I hate you just a little bit more, dude. Just a little bit more. Just look at it, like walking around. It's like these beautiful, like Adobe looking buildings. And you've got these large cactus and just beautiful countryside. You can see some rolling hills in the background and open, like spacious patios with huge, like seating and outdoor refrigerator. Oh, Lance is grabbing a beer out of the fridge right now. Did you see that, Matt?
Oh yeah. He already put it away. He already put it down.
Yeah.
He's crushing it.
So are you going to be a little bit sad? Are you a little bit pre-sad that you have to leave on, is it this weekend?
Yeah. Well, we leave Sunday morning. It's been fantastic.
Okay.
It's been better than I expected for sure.
So thus far, the routes, have they been quality? Are you talking about good bike lanes down there? Are you talking about, not too much like steep, egregious climbing? Is it rolly, or just describe the routes a little bit that you've seen thus far?
Yeah, the first day we rode like the first 3 or 4 miles of Mount Lemmon. So it was just kind of, Tucson has 150 miles of dedicated bike lane in Tucson.
Wow.
So, so around the city of Tucson. So, and they're very good about trying to protect those cycling. And so almost every road has like a dedicated bike lane. And I've been here for almost a week already, and I can't remember an incident with a car buzzing me yet.
Wow.
So, and I've been riding every day. So
in general, do you see a lot of cyclists out there riding around, or is it just your group that you've been seeing?
So on one of the bike lanes, there's a bike counter that when you go by, and what was it? I went by it on January 30th, and there'd already been 15,000 cyclists that had gone by that spot.
Oh, wow. And that started over at the beginning of the year?
Yes.
Wow.
And went through that day. It was like 3 p.m, and we were like the 400th cyclist that had gone through that little spot that day. So
that's a pretty cool little thing. can you imagine having something like that around here?
I think we need something like that just to remind people
that there's
like there are bikers on the road, and it's like there's a lot of bikers on the road, and it's share the roads.
Well, not to mention the fact that people that maybe don't ride or don't go out on the roads, maybe they'll see that. Maybe that would inspire them. Like, hey, there's that many people riding their bikes. Maybe I can do that too.
I could see something like that on our little bike corridor.
Sure.
Whatever, McGillivray stretch.
Yeah, the 2-bridge loop over there. All those little common roads.
Something.
Put something out in front of Lance's house.
There you go.
Get ready to ride over the 205 bridge.
Lance will account for quite a few of those.
My driveway, every cyclist that goes by. But yesterday we did a ride through Saguaro National Park on the east side of town, and there's an 8-mile loop that has like perfect pavement, and it is rolling. The whole thing is like rollers. It's like built for me, except there's one like 1.5 mile long climb in the middle of this like 8-mile loop. But I did like a couple laps of it because it was so good. So that's pretty fantastic. And then we rode out to this spot called Colossal Cave, which also had some just fantastic roads. Plus, there's a bunch of pros that winter here, right? Quinn Simmons spent a bunch of time here. Michael Riccatello, I don't know how you say his name. He was also here before they both went over to the Tour de San Juan in Argentina. Keegan Swenson and Russell Finsterwald and a bunch of big gravel pros, they all winter here. He's riding a lot of the same roads. Keegan and Finsty are both riding a lot of the same roads that we've been riding, for the last couple days. So
okay,
that's
so. One more quick question on the routes. I know that you still need to finish out the week. You've got a couple more rides still to do. Do you think you'll have a pretty good idea of some routes that we can put together for our training camp down there? I know that we've got our teammate Dustin Gottschall, who's going to help have some input there as well, because he lived down there for a decade and definitely has some ideas. But I think between the two of you, I think we could probably come up with some pretty good routes. Yeah.
Yes. He has suggested some of the same routes that we have ridden. Dustin, our teammate, has suggested some of the same spots. So
gotcha.
Yeah, pretty cool. So plus I have another buddy who lives here, Gary Allen.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
Yeah. So his wife is good friends with my wife. And so I showed up, and he's a former professional rider as well, but he's also my age, roughly. I think he's 52 or 53. Interesting. Gary Allen is the younger brother of Mark Allen, the 6-time
heard of him
and world champion. So, so he's the younger brother of Mark Allen. So he knows a lot about triathlon.
Gotcha. Now,
Mark Allen,
doesn't he call the Pacific Northwest home, but he spends time between here, Tucson, and France, if I'm not mistaken?
Yes. They owned a soccer team in France.
As in past tense? As in sold it?
That is past tense. They no longer own it.
Oh.
So they don't have that anymore. They have their business and home was based in Vancouver, but they have bought a house here in Tucson and are more or less living here now and renting their house in Vancouver out as an Airbnb.
Oh, so will we see them up here anymore, or is it pretty much done and that's their new stomping grounds down there?
They'll still come up here occasionally, up to Vancouver occasionally, but
gotcha.
They'll spend down here. Yeah.
Okay, cool. All right, I got another question for you. This is the one that everybody's asking. This will be the tough one. I'm sure you're going to be okay with sharing this. A lot of people are hearing about all these fancy, cool things that you're doing down there at this camp. What kind of a price tag are we talking about for the week?
People don't like to talk about price, but
you got to know, because like
$3,000, $4,000 for this week, or is that kind of the range?
What do you think, Jake?
$3,200.
It was $3,300.
Oh, it was close. Okay. I think I only remember that because somebody mentioned that to me maybe like 5 or 6 months ago. But yeah,
but still, you're getting fed.
Yeah, so expensive. So it is expensive. It's housing, it's food. I mean, you don't have to do anything. Obviously, I mean, you can see I'm laying in bed now, just waiting for dinner to be ready because I don't have to do anything about that. But they are spendy for the week. But that's why it's a cycling vacation. I mean, when we do our team training camps, it costs each one of us roughly $1,000 when we do team training camps.
But that also includes the airfare. So,
correct.
Yeah.
Yes.
But there's no airfare included in that $3,300, correct?
There's not.
So you're there for a full week, correct? A full 7 days. So you're spending about 400, huh?
It's Tuesday through Sunday.
Oh, okay. So 5 days. Yeah.
Yep. Yeah.
Oof, that is expensive.
I mean, there's no doubt that our, club training camp is going to be cheaper, right? I mean, because we're doing all the stuff.
Yeah.
Like we're doing, we take turns doing meals.
Yep.
But we go and we purchase all that stuff at the grocery store.
So for us, for
$1,000, the house, we do, all the things.
For us, the last 4 years has cost about $1,000, and the houses that we've rented have been about the same cost wise.
Right.
This year, when we go to Tucson, the price is like 30 or 40% less for the rental fee of the house. It's significantly less, and it's a very nice house. Lance is spending about $660 a day to do this, but he's getting his own private yurt. And if you were early, you probably would have been in the main house in your own bedroom. But does everybody have their own bedroom there?
Yes.
So you have that. Yep. You've got a tour guide. You've got food. You've got amenities. You've got everything that you would ever need. Like, you don't have to lift a finger if you don't want to. You just have to show up and ride and eat.
That's cool. Yep.
I mean, that's a pretty fantastic setup. I mean,
we're
going to spend a heck of a lot less doing our training camp this year. It'll probably end up costing for a full week about $700 to $800, but that's also us having to pay for rental cars and airfare and food and all of the things in the house. But that's
and we're sharing rooms, and
we are definitely sharing rooms. So, Lance, is there a way to do Cycling House less expensive? Do they have other options where you can maybe just join the rides and maybe have your own accommodations and maybe make it be a little less expensive?
I don't think so.
Huh.
I haven't heard of that being a thing. I know that you can, they do private trips where, they set up the rides for you or they give you routes to do and they cook for you, but it's still, it's a little less expensive than if you do the trip, especially if you're coming with a group of like 20. But again, you'd be sharing rooms or sharing king size beds possibly too, if you brought like 20 or 25 people.
Sure.
So, it kind of cater to this. And actually most of their weeks fill up with clients willing to pay this. I mean, if you think about it, most of these clients are in their 50s or 60s.
Sure.
And they're usually so
your friend that came over from the UK, the one that you've been riding with a little bit, is it something where he gets off a plane and they have somebody there to pick him up from the airport, or does he have to rent a car? So they're picking him up from the airport?
Nope. Yep.
Oh,
it
wow.
includes transfers from and to the airport. Yep.
And
or if they fly in the night before and they get a hotel the night before, they pick them up. Yeah.
That's nice. Now, they also have a mechanic there. Are they tuning your bike for you, cleaning it up and lubing the chain and putting air in the tires and doing all the things for you, or are you still responsible for that?
They probably would. I haven't asked them to because I've just been doing it myself.
Gotcha.
But they're probably so, especially the people that rent bikes, they're doing that for all the people that rented one of their bikes for the week.
Okay. So if you didn't have your own bike, you can rent a bike for them, or do they include that in the price of the trip?
I think you can rent a bike for them, but it's pretty nominal.
Gotcha.
It's very expensive, but a gravel bike or a road bike.
Okay. What other amenities are we missing? Is there anything else that is provided in that pretty hefty fee for the week? I mean, granted, it's worth it for the experience. For some people, $3,300 is going to be a crap ton of money. Some people, it's just a drop in the bucket, and some people, it's like, yeah, I can save up and do that.
The privacy, the food,
do they have
I don't know.
SAG vehicles that are out on all the rides? They've got the tour guides, and they're there to help you out. Are they?
And they set up aid stations for you. And they tell you the night before, okay, the van is going to be here with all the nutrition and food and water and whatever you want, and it's going to be here, and there's a SAG vehicle so every ride we've gone on, there's been a SAG vehicle that have followed. If somebody wanted to be done, they could get in the van, and they have a rack on top of the van that will hold 12 bikes or something, and they have 2 vans, so they have all the supplies, all the food, and all the snacks you would want on a ride. It's all they have all that stuff. It's Scratcher, Honey Stinger, or Stroop waffles, whatever. There's whatever you want. Drink mix, protein drinks afterwards, recovery drinks. It's all there. You just go in the garage and there's a giant table of it, and you just get what you need.
Anything you would change thus far?
It would be, I'm probably not the typical client, but I'd be nice to really be pushed a little bit every day. I have pushed myself plenty hard, but doing 80 or 90 or 100 miles a day and doing that 5 days in a row would really be kind of a kick to your fitness in the early season. So that would be nice.
Anybody giving you a lead out to, I don't know, snipe some KOMs down there?
If not even come close. I did get one on today's ride, but that was because it was like a dirt road gravel section that everybody like dances on, and I just ripped through it on my road bike.
As you do. I don't know, Matt.
Which is why I would probably.
What do you think, Matt? Is this something that you would do?
Yeah, I think what's nice is I think that, it'll cater to a variety of people, right? Like I think I could see myself and my wife going to something like this, and my wife being okay with it, because if she needs to, she can bail out at any time, or she can take a day off and she can enjoy the meals and she can enjoy the trip and things like that. And I think that, just having everything taken care of would appeal to her a lot.
Yeah. That's actually a good question. If Brandy wanted to stay there with you but not do the rides, can she do that? Or are they going to charge her, or how does that work out?
It would charge her, but it would be like a non-rider fee, which is less.
So basically just covering the food and, something along those lines.
Food and
gotcha.
More or less.
I actually think my wife would want to do the rides.
Oh, that's fantastic.
Yeah.
My wife would not.
Yeah. Well,
she would want to go on some trail runs, though. She'd have fun with that.
And I think Brandy would want to ride. I mean, she's legit.
She would ride too. Yeah. And plenty of people riding that are their speed. That sounded really bad, but there's plenty of
jerk.
There's all speed.
All ability levels.
That's what's attractive about it, is that there's more options there's more abilities.
Gotcha. Now, going back to like making a cheaper, less expensive version of this, is there a way, like if somebody's like, dude, I'd love to go to Tucson, I just can't do 3,000 and change for a thing. Is there a way to go down there and do something on the cheap and still kind of have a fun, similar experience?
Yeah, you could rent an Airbnb yourself and just you could go to my Strava and just copy the routes.
There is that.
Do that.
Yep. And then, does it seem like they're hosting like group rides or club rides or shop rides or stuff like that down there that somebody could jump on just to have some camaraderie?
There's several meeting points where you could meet. You just have to, I don't know how you would find those. I mean, one of the things, the Tucson Shootout is something that happens every Saturday. And that's a full gas, race simulation ride that happens every Saturday morning here, and has for almost 30 years. It's what the Sabi Shootout was
modeled after. Yep.
Yeah. So, so there's lots of different group rides that you could connect and hook up with if you just came down and rented a place yourself.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Are you going to jump on one of those shootout rides before you head home?
It's on Saturday, and that's the day we are doing Mount. So, and then I think we are turning around and coming home right after that, because I've been gone too long and there's things that I need to take care of.
No, that's what I wanted to ask.
Being gone for a minute, huh?
Before you go back to Tucson for the team camp, you're going to come home.
I am coming home.
All right.
Yeah.
Sweet.
That's not like almost another month, and that's too much.
Yeah.
So I need to come back.
All right. Will you do the scamp again?
I might. Yes. Here's one of the options. They have a steamboat gravel camp that they have the week before steamboat gravel. I entered the lottery for steamboat gravel and didn't get in. But if you go to their camp the week before, it includes entry into the race.
Wow.
So,
A little backdoor action there, huh?
yeah. So possibility I might do that. That's in August. They have great camps in Tuscany and in Mallorca. And, once you meet the guides and the people and see how they do it, it's like, okay, this could be.
Well, going back to the cost thing, is that a pretty consistent cost across the board, or does that change based on the venue?
I don't know. I haven't looked at it that closely, but I think it's pretty consistent. I think, going to Mallorca is a lot more. You got to buy your own travel.
Sure.
So that, sure. Yeah.
I rode Mallorca last week on RGT.
Yeah, RGT.
Good times. Anything else you want to tell us about that down there, Lance, before we move on?
It's been fantastic. Everybody hates me even more now. So
I'm glad you're having a good time.
Any rock hounding?
I'm having
Oh yeah, no rock hounding. No time.
No, actually, Tucson is the center for rock and mineral gem shows. And so it happens in 2 weeks in February. So it's happening right now. Brandy and I already have spent several hours at several of the rock and mineral gem shows checking stuff out. So
it's like rock talk.
This has been Rock Talk.
Yeah, we need something like this cycling house, but for rock lovers.
The Rock House.
The Rock House.
That's rad. I'm jealous. Maybe I can come down here with you one of these days.
Team camp will work.
Yeah. I could
figure it out.
I could use a little bit of sunshine right about now. It's, I don't know. It's just that time of year. When it's sunny out, it's probably windy and cold as hell.
Yep.
And so you're like, ugh, you know.
I've been wanting to go bike because it's been sunny, but I've been like, oh, we really have to bundle up.
Yeah. You almost want like a cloudy day where it's like upper 40s, you know, but you don't want the rain to come down. I don't know. It's just that time of year where it's like, all right, this can be done now. Move on. But you know what? 38 more days.
38 more days.
Until we change the clocks forward and things start to get better.
Yep.
Looking forward to it.
Yep.
Awesome sauce. Well, Lance, I hope you're having a good time down there. We are definitely looking forward to you coming back, but you're still freaking jackhole.
Yeah.
All right.
Fair enough.
Let's move on.
Champ Bailey. Top five here. In the top five.
Champ here. Champ, you in the house? Did you go to Tucson, Champ?
Champ's
I am here. I have not paid attention to what has been happening in racing for the last week or so. So I know there's a couple of stage races that are happening on the World Tour, but they're not big stage races.
No.
Stage races. There was a huge crash today in one of the stage races.
They neutralized the whole race, right?
I can't even say the name. I don't even know it. But the crash was so bad, they actually neutralized the race.
Huh.
So that, no good.
Any notable names get hurt in that by chance, or is it just... No?
Let's see. I don't think any got hurt.
All right.
But somebody was left hanging from a bridge.
Oh, jeez. Are you kidding me?
I'm looking at the pictures now, and I'm starting to crack up. Yeah. They crashed. Yeah. He almost went over the bridge. He's hanging on the edge of the bridge. On.
Oh my Lord.
And his buddy,
he's literally like holding on. Like that's like that's a substantial drop there. That's no bueno. Which race was that again?
Cycling picture of the year. This guy hanging off the edge of a bridge after a crash.
Is that a Jayco team guy? Looks like
stage 2. Itoli de Besiges. I don't know.
No, that's much better than I would have. I would have butchered that so
Nailed it.
bad. I would have butchered it so bad it might have been right. I don't know. Crazy. All right. What else is going on?
Yes. There's not a whole lot. The Saudi tour is also going on, which is different than the UAE tour, which will probably have a little fireworks because Pogacar will be racing in the UAE tour, and this is the Saudi tour. So, but Saudi
tour actually looks pretty interesting. Have you watched any race footage from that? It kind of looks
I
like
haven't seen-
it looks like the desert of the Southwest, like a kind of has a little bit of a Utah southern Utah kind of look to it. But granted, it looks a little bit more desolate, but it's I don't know, it's kind of cool looking. There's like lots of punchy climbs, some rollers, and it's like nice roads like in the middle of the desert, but it's got a little bit of this like kind of Grand Canyon-esque look in the background, or like the southern Utah look. It's interesting. It's not somewhere I want to go race, because half the time I see any kind of race footage, it looks like there's a big sandstorm blowing through there. I'm like, that's the last thing I want to be doing is pushing watts and trying to suck all of that down. But I don't know. I think Dylan Groenewegen's been kind of handling his business down there pretty well at that. He's won a couple of the stages, and if I'm not mistaken, was in the leader's jersey as of yesterday.
He's tied for the lead in the points classification right now.
Okay.
Dylan Groenewegen with Jonathan Milan, a name I don't even know, from Bahrain Victorious.
Yeah, that guy's got a heck of a sprint too, so he'll be fun to watch going forward.
Won't be that long until we have the spring classics.
Yeah, coming up. There's a little bicycle race this weekend, isn't there?
Yes, the World Championships are happening.
There you go.
Oh boy.
In cyclocross. So that will be happening Sunday morning for us. I actually, when I got dropped off at camp, I forgot my iPad, and I made my wife drive back from Phoenix to give me the iPad.
What?
Whoa.
She's like, I hate you so much right now.
I think I just would have bought another one. If I had asked my wife.
Yeah. So that should be exciting.
Real quick, do you happen to know how people can watch that, where it's going to be streamed, what time it's on? Do you have any of that information?
Flow Sports and GCN.
Okay.
That's what I remember.
That's correct.
And roughly what time does it start at?
Let me see.
It's probably like
Flow
super
Sports.
early on Sunday.
It will start 5 a.m. Mountain Standard Time.
Okay.
On Sunday. So it will be on Flow Sports.
It is actually really fascinating.
See, I just started the video and now it's making noise. And GCN, I don't think it's on GCN Plus.
Okay.
Huh.
I mean, not here in the U.S., but maybe somewhere else. That's what I was thinking.
Get your VPN going, yep.
Yeah.
Get your VPN.
If you have able to see it. Yeah.
So for those that want to watch it on Flow Sports, will they have to subscribe to Flow Sports to watch said race, or is this going to be one that they'll just publicly broadcast for everybody to watch?
I do not believe they publicly broadcast it. If you wait until the afternoon, the race should be on YouTube at some point in the afternoon.
Someone's just going to post it there.
Yeah. So just stay off social media, keep your fingers in your ears, and walk around the house saying la 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 until the afternoon and watch the race, right?
That's right. Yeah.
And hopefully you don't see any race results while you're scrolling through the old YouTubes to find said race.
Or wake up at 4 a.m. You might as well just wait until the afternoon and watch it when it's streaming somewhere. I don't know.
Yeah.
And I'm not a big fan of Flow Sports. I've talked about that before.
All right. Sounds fun. Anything else, champ?
I got nothing. Champ out.
Matt LeGrand.
There's no triathlon news. There's
no triathlon, no running, no nothing. It's all quiet time.
Chill. Indoor track season for collegiate runners and stuff like that.
Okay. Are you going to do a race this year?
Sure. I'll do something. I'll probably do. Well, I was thinking, okay, well, here's I'm probably going to blow your one last thing. Mike Myers Memorial Time Trial.
It's coming up.
Yeah. I'm going to do that, I think, as long as I'm around.
6 weeks out.
I don't think I'll do well, but that doesn't matter, does it?
Just go out there and
just go there and have fun.
Smile on your face, yeah. Have fun.
Yep. I don't have a TT bike that's functional, so road bike it.
We can make something functional on that. You want to build a Freakin bike?
No.
You're done with that bad boy, huh?
I'm done with the trek.
Nice. Cool beans. All right. Hey, we have these people that support the show, and they do cool things, and they're called Patreons.
Patreons.
You guys ever heard of Patreon before? It's a pretty cool thing.
It is cool.
Yeah. So the old Patreon, who we are fond of because people can become Patreons. they can go on there and they can support the show, and they can sign up for something as little as $5 just to support us. I think you can even put in your own desired amount too, just to help support the show and helps cover some of the overhead and the costs. We're not like lining our wallets and going and doing big cycling camps down at the, cycling house in Tucson.
Golden cycling camps.
Just paying for, stuff like hosting and websites and all that fun stuff. But we do appreciate all of the people that support us through the show. And if you are interested in becoming a Patreon yourself, you can go to dialpodcast.com. There is a link there to the Patreon, and you can go pick a level that works best for you. Last week, I said that our winner can go to the social medias where we post the podcast thumbnail, which is the artwork that you see when you look at the podcast show. I'm not sure if he went there because I haven't heard from him yet, but a Patreon of ours, Mr. Chris Hitchcock, was the winner of last week.
Congratulations.
So, I just wanted to put that out there in case.
What does he win?
He gets to come pull something out of the grab bag. And there's actually a lot of stuff in there. We keep it down at the Dialed Cycling Lab. We've got a bunch of stuff that gets put in there. And
cool socks, cool
socks,
water bottles.
And we get different companies, vendors and whatnot that come through there quite often. And they'll give us like swag and whatnot. We'll put it in there. And sometimes it's some pretty cool stuff. So, they get to come down. They get to pick out whatever it is that they might want out of said bag. This week, we're going to do something a little bit different again. And this week, what we're going to do is we're going to post this up, and the thumbnail will again go on Instagram. And for all of our followers out there who are Patreons, if you go to that post and in the comment section, if you can write down the answer to this question inside the comment, we will give you a prize. And that question is Mr. Tony Martin. He retired recently. I think he retired at the end of in 2022. So last year, if I'm not mistaken.
Okay.
What was Tony Martin's nickname in the cycling peloton? So write Tony Martin's nickname. I'm just
going to say the German Bullet.
Maybe
German. He's German, right?
Something like that. Yeah. It's adjacent to that. It's in the same ballpark, but
he was so much fun to watch as an aspiring time trialist myself.
Yeah.
Not really, but like he was just like in that era, he was the best time trialist, and he was fun to watch.
Yeah. So anyway, go post that up there if you're a patron, or if you want to enter yourself in said competition and you notice that nobody has posted something up there, you can go make yourself a Patreon and put your little answer on the old Instagram post there, and winner chicken dinner. So we'll do that. What do you think about this, Matt? What if we did it for the first 3 people that post that up there?
Yeah, because if we have a lot of stuff to give away,
we've got a lot of. That's why I asked, because we got a lot of stuff that Ben. I don't want it to overflow. So let's say the first 3 people to post up Tony Martin's nickname. That'd be fantastic. Cool. All right, moving on.
Moving right along.
I'm still getting this whole
the order
backwards model thing figured out, but I think we're
talked
doing
to
all right
one of our listeners, and she said that they prefer it this way.
Really?
The way with us doing the topic first and then
kind of fades to black.
I don't know.
I actually talked to somebody that told me the same. Actually, 2 somebodies that told me the same thing. So far, so good.
Okay. Unless we hear otherwise.
Yeah. So on that note, let's backpedal. Lance, do you want to backpedal, or have you already done all of your backpedaling?
I have done all my backpedal. You do not want to hear anything more about the glorious riding.
I'm just going to just throw out some numbers for us. You've been doing about 50, 60 a day or what?
Yeah, what day is today? Is it Thursday?
It's Thursday
all day long.
Yeah, I've done almost 12 hours this week already, and it's Thursday, and it's today I did 64. Yesterday I did almost 70, and the first day I did 27.
And the Queen stage, you said, is Mount Lemmon, and that is on Sunday or Saturday?
Sunday.
Okay.
And that'll be 55 miles and 7,000 feet of climbing, something like that.
Nice. Are you going to take a day off on Monday?
Yes.
Nice.
There was a day that you and I were texting back and forth, and you told me that you felt like you hit a wall because you finally took a day off for the first time since the beginning of December, if I'm not mistaken, right?
That is correct. I had been going 4 weeks full gas, 20-hour weeks. I came to Arizona, and all of a sudden, the weather was decent, and so I just wanted to soak it all in. And I was doing 2-hour workouts every day, along with an extra hour or 2 of endurance after the workout. and then
It's Training Peaks.
we
Like,
talked
what are
last
you
week.
doing?
Yes, we talked last week. I talked about possibly doing a mountain bike race.
That was going to be my next question, because I told you, I'm like, it might be wise to miss that.
I woke up the day of the race and I'm like, oh hell no, I can't go race. I do not feel good. So
did you end up taking 2 days off back to back?
I think I rode like an hour or something like that. I did something easy, but the day we drove down here from Phoenix, I took that day off completely.
Were you dealing with FOMO all day of that race, or were you happy with your decision? And
I was happy with my decision, because when I checked the results, I didn't know this. It was a brand new race. It was very poorly attended. I mean, my age division had like 2 people in it. So I'm glad I didn't. I'm glad I didn't go do it. So,
but you could have won. You would have been on the podium if there was 2 people. Come on, man.
Right.
That's all you got to tell. That's all you got to do is post the podium shot. Like, I'm on the podium, guys. Look at this. This is awesome.
Check me.
Came in 3 out of 3. Oh, that's all good. Cool. Anything else?
Nope. That's it.
Sweet. Matt Legrand, backpedal.
I don't have anything crazy like Lance to discuss, but I've been on Zwift. I think I'm doing that Tour de Zwift still.
Yeah, how's it going?
Fine.
Yeah, having fun?
Yeah, it's been, I mean, I actually think I'm riding better than I was a month or 2 ago. And I've been swimming a lot, and I was running quite well until I think I overdid it. And now I'm trying to back off and just, like, it's a calf strain thing. It's not like a Achilles problem. So taking a little bit easier on the run for the next couple days until I get to Hawaii. I'm going to Hawaii on Monday.
Wow.
So Evan and I will both be gone for next week.
Sweet.
So we'll have to figure out the podcast. But
how long are you guys going to be gone for? Is that a whole week long trip?
Yeah,
Sweet.
it's a whole week. I mean, Evan's going Saturday to Saturday, and I'm going Monday to Monday.
Nice.
So
And are you going with all the kids or just your wife?
my whole family's going. We're bringing the whole family. And actually, we're staying in a different part of the island than Evan. We're like an hour away from him.
Okay.
So I may not see him like the whole week. We'll see.
Oh, geez. Now, I'm told that like David Goodman's going to be there, Dustin Shockton, you and Evan. Who else?
And they're in the families.
In the families.
Yep.
That's a lot of folks.
It should be pretty good. I'm going to rent a bike one day and go ride with those guys.
Uh-huh.
Or we'll see. I mean, I don't know if I'll really be able to stick with them, but
okay. What airline are you flying on?
I don't know.
I was going to say, you could just take your bike with you, but that's probably more hassle than it's worth if you're just going to ride one day.
I'm just going to ride like one day. Well, I want to do a lot of swimming, a lot of open water swimming.
Sure.
I want to do a lot of running if my calf comes back around.
Yeah.
And my oldest kid is a big time swimmer, and he wants to like train. So not necessarily open water swimming. He wants to like go to the pool and do like lap swimming. There's a state meet coming up, and he has like, he's, in the thick of it for being one of the top swimmers.
Wow.
So
that's impressive.
He's all in on swimming all the time. So
sweet.
That's what we're at.
Cool. My week this past week, just a bunch of RGT rides. I don't think I rode outside. I was going to ride outside one time. I'm supposed to do a gravel ride. And in short, my front wheel is having some issues, and I figured that out like
right before
the ride. Went to go put air in it, and it's just like leaking out. So I think I've got a little bit of a rim tape issue, and I just haven't had a chance to remedy said problem. I thought I had it fixed, and I didn't. And what
size tires are those?
It's a 45 in the front and a 40 in the back.
45, 40.
Yeah.
Okay.
And that's not because I'm trying or something different or doing anything different. It was just because we were out of 40s at the time. And so I just put a 45 on there, and not for nothing. Kind of like it.
I know, right?
Yeah. I mean, it grabs real nice up front. It still rolls good.
Honestly think like go big.
Yeah. Go big or go home. Yeah.
Go big. Have fun.
Now, on the flip side of that though, training seems like it's turning for me. It's getting better.
Really?
Like the acupuncture, the flexibility work, the strength stuff that I'm doing, the physical therapy stuff that I'm intertwining in there and doing with the acupuncturist who's like a therapist as well. It seems like it's causing things to settle down. I've been doing a really good job of like ingesting a lot of anti-inflammatories. Here's a crazy one.
Okay.
My wife insisted that I do this with her because it's really good for inflammatory responses and whatnot, is drinking celery juice fresh squeezed celery juice. And she's tried this before. She wanted to get back on it. And we did this whole dry January, and we're into dry February now.
Okay.
And
I had wine last night.
Did you?
I was like, February 1st. have me a little sip of wine.
There you go. But I'm going to stay the course with that because, there's a inflammatory response there from alcohol as well. And, cutting out sugars and trying to do all the little things. And she's like, oh, so your hip's feeling better. She's like, it's the celery juice. I'm like, it's not your friggin' celery juice.
I don't even know how you juice celery. Like, I feel like you would try to juice it and you would just get nothing. Be like rock hounding and like, let's get some juice out of these rocks.
You would be amazed. And no joke, it juices up quickly. We have a nice juicer that we can use for this hurum, if I'm not mistaken. It's made specifically for like very fibrous fruit or vegetables and whatnot. And you can do beets in it as well. And I've purchased some beets because I'm gonna get back on that. That's a whole nother story. But I did beets for years and years, and that was when I was in the best shape of my life. But she gets up and she makes it for us in the morning. I usually do all the coffee. She's like, I'll make the celery juice. You make the coffee. I'm like, all right. So she brings me up like, no joke, it's like 20 ounces of it, and it's not that bad tasting. Just chug it down and drink it and move on with the rest of it. Well, and then I drink probably another 25 ounces of water after that. And then I drink coffee. So you can guess what I'm doing for the rest of the morning. But I don't know. It maybe it's helping a little, but
the secret.
I don't know.
Secret
it's just
celery
one
juice.
of those little things. But the moral of the story is my hip has been feeling better. So we have been doing more aggressive team rides and putting in more like hot sections on the RGT rides that we've been doing. And I've been able to keep up, and there's been some pretty spicy things, and I'm not wanting to quit because of my hip. It's more of like, crap, I got to get my fitness in check. So, but I don't let myself quit. I get through it. I hold on, and I've had a couple of decent results with some
Is there a team ride tonight?
There is, yeah.
Okay.
We do team rides every Tuesday and Thursday on RGT. And then we're trying to get back to our, at least for the time being, Wednesday night gravel rides at nighttime in the dark, when the weather is compliant, when it's not basically pouring down rain.
Right.
So that'd be fun.
That's cool.
But I've been doing 8.5, 9 hours of riding, and this week will be the first time that hit 10 hours in quite some time. We're doing a 60. For me, it'll be about 65 miles on Saturday outside, and that's going to be like the thing that tells me like, okay, this whole training camp, it's gonna fly, it's gonna work. You're gonna be able to do it, and you're just gonna have to like maybe do a few more of these things so that you can get so I can get the fitness up so that I don't die when we show up to training camp. But this will tell me a lot about where I'm at with my fitness. So
Lance's going to kill us. Training camp. You're going to kill everyone.
I hope I do better than I did last year. I was terrible last year.
Well, last year was hard. That was a hard training camp. There was so much climbing. Like we were like excited to see a day that was just 5,000 feet of elevation gain. Yeah. And like, oh, yes, it's an easy day. And like, there was plenty of days where it was well over 10,000 feet. Wow. Now, you could opt out of that, but that's not your mom and dad's 10,000 feet. This was like, oh my gosh, I'm going up something that's 25% grade, and you're like dying, and you're just trying to get a pedal over so you don't fall over kind of stuff several times. What is Tucson like in comparison to that? I mean, I'm sure there's some climbs out there. I'm sure it's got some hills and some rollers in it, but do you amass the elevation gain quite as quickly as you do down there in Southern California where we're at in Fallbrook?
No, Mount Lemmon is the major climb. Now, there's a lot of foothills around town, so you can still have a lot of rolling climbs, but having 10,000 feet days or 13,000 feet days, I think there was one day
something like that,
last week. That would be harder to do here.
Gotcha.
So
I'm really looking forward to getting some recon notes from you on Mount Lemmon, and I'm really looking forward to seeing what some of our teammates can do down there. And there's a reason behind that. So I was talking with a friend and teammate, David Bussey from the ODZ squad.
Yeah.
He rides with ODZ virtually and rides with us in the real world. He was telling me that ODZ is doing their training camp down there the week before us, and that they go down there to, is it Fountain Hills or Fountain something? Is that what it's called?
Fountain Hills, up in the Phoenix area.
Gotcha.
But that's only 2 hours from here.
Yep. So they stay there, but they go down and they do Mount Lemon. And he's like, all right, I've got one assignment for you guys when you go down there. He's like, you got to beat all the ODZ guys' times going up Mount Lemon.
That could be hard.
I'm like, who's got all of the best times going up there? And he's like, oh, I think it's Justin Wagner. I think Wags might have it. I'm like,
He's a beast, man.
Yeah, he's a strong dude. I have no chance at even coming close to what he's done right now. Maybe back in the day, but right now, just nothing. But we've got a couple people going with us that I think could put some really significant numbers up there. And I'm really curious to see what Paul First does. Paul, his fitness right now is absurd. Like that kid is like, he's always been strong, but he's like stupid, ridiculously fast and strong right now. And he just like plays with us when we do our team rides or we do anything outside or inside. He's like a cat playing with a mouse. And then he's just like, when he wants to go, he just leaves. He's like, bye guys, we'll see you later. I'm like, jackhole. So
good for him.
But
I like
I'm
seeing good things happen to
curious
people.
to see what he does on Mount Lemon when we go down there, because I'm gonna wind him up and I'm gonna tell him like, you go get that done, son. You represent. So hopefully he can put up a good time.
The KOM is still held by Lionel Sanders. It is roughly an hour and 11 minutes.
Oofed.
I am anticipating 3 hours for myself.
No.
Yes.
No.
Lance, we're talking about a triathlete here, okay? So you got to take him down.
Yeah, I know. So that's what I'm looking at. And Sam Long is up there.
Yeah.
Drake Duell is up there. There's a bunch of big names, obviously, but yeah, I'm thinking if I break 3 hours, it'll be a good day.
Are you being serious? You trying to be funny?
I am not being funny.
Dead serious, huh?
I'm being serious.
23 miles, you said? And isn't the average grade like 5%?
It's 4.7 because it's roughly 6% the whole way, and there's one flattish little downhill section that makes the average like 7% for the whole thing.
Gotcha. Are there some punchy climbs in there, or does it stay pretty consistent?
Stays pretty consistent, from what I understand.
I don't know. I'm going to say that you're going to easily go under 2.5.
I don't know. I'm 185 pounds still. I don't know that I'm going to haul that much weight faster than
if
that.
It was a 6% grade and you're having a 6-7%, I would say, yeah, you're probably right. But I think averaging it out to under 5, even with that little dip in there and whatnot, I still think you're going to go faster than you think you are.
If the food wasn't so damn good at the cycling house.
I'm eating the food.
Awesome. All right, let's do one last thing and call it a day. Matt Legrand, you're always good at going first.
I posted a video yesterday with the one and only Evan Price.
I think
swimming.
I saw a thumbnail for that, and I haven't had a chance to watch it yet.
So one of Evan's friends, Ari Clow, is a professional triathlete as well. He lives in Seattle, and he comes down occasionally to work out with Evan. And this was one of those situations where he showed up, and they did a swim workout, and they were like, come film. And I was like, all right. So I filmed their swim. It was like,
so something like back of the pack something or other? Isn't that what you called
that's
it?
That's why I named it back of the pack pro triathlete swimmers, because that's the truth, right? They're not the top swimmers in the sport.
Sure.
But they're getting faster. And it's a very someone was like, this is super dramatic. And it is like the whole thing is like, these guys are working hard, they're breathing hard, I would say like the mood of the whole video is that it's very dramatic style video. And it's short, it's like 2.5 minutes, and it's like they're swimming faster, they're getting there, they're no longer becoming, back of the pack swimmers or whatever it is. So check it out, watch it.
Do you like doing that kind of stuff a little bit more in the vein of documentary or storytelling?
This one is more like short motivational style.
Okay.
And I do like that a lot. And I really wouldn't mind getting into like documentary style videos if I can find the right stories and stuff like that. But they're also a lot more work, and we'll see. I still want to keep my like weekly schedule.
Yep.
So the next video I'm working on for while I'm gone in Hawaii is about that NYX biosensor sweat patch and it's not gonna be, if you skip a video, that's fine, because that one is just like, it's basically me being like, yeah, I struggled with this patch. It just constantly didn't work. And
were you putting it on the wrong part of your body?
Yeah. Nope. It's actually supposed to go on your bicep. That's the like required location for it. That's where I put it. and it constantly like failed. It would just be like failed to upload, failed to connect, failed to. I mean, it was just a mess.
Did you try and put it on any other body parts, Matt?
Pass. So you only get 5 of these, or I think you only get like 4 patches and then you can buy refills of the patches, and those are like single use patches, so they're like $6.25 each time you use one.
Oh, this product is destined to do what?
You're not going to want to just put them anywhere and play around with them. You're going to want to put them right where they're supposed to be and try and use it correctly so that you can get information about your sweat. And it was still a struggle. So that video is coming out. It's going to come out sometime while I'm gone, probably next Wednesday, if I can make that scheduled and built and put together. See what I can do.
Chester make an appearance in that video by chance?
He the way I'm growing this beard out is
That's
looking
what
like
I'm asking,
yeah. No Chester. He's barred from the channel for a while, but I do need to get rid of this beard before I go to Hawaii.
April 1st is less than 2 months away now.
I know, and I've got ideas, but they're like I think that they're too aggressive of an idea, or they're too ambitious because it'll be hard to pull off.
Maybe you need to go to Hawaii with like a big handlebar mustache or something like that.
That would be
only
fantastic. Know one guy that can pull off a stash like that.
I miss it terribly.
Yep.
Nice. Lance Heppler, you got one last thing for us?
I don't have one last thing. I'm actually looking forward to coming home. I've been gone too long already. So
what's the time frame when you're gonna make it back? You're going to slow ride it?
We'll probably slow ride it, but I'm thinking Tuesday. We'll probably be home by Tuesday, is my guess.
Okay.
Sweet. Cool. My one last thing, Matt did kind of mention a little bit earlier, is going to be the Michael Myers Memorial Time Trial. That will be on March 19th. So it's a month and change away, a month and a half. And we will be hosting that on Sunday the 19th out at Vancouver Lake.
That's going to be amazing. I'm excited about that.
Yeah.
Hopefully we have good weather.
Yeah, that's always a crapshoot that time of year. You never know what you're going to get.
Know.
Last year was good.
It was.
We're
really
going to
good.
rinse and repeat what we did last year, all the good things. And I don't think we really did anything bad last year. We're just going to try and make it a little bit better. So
I have a video about that race from last year.
Yeah.
And that, like, if people are curious about like what the ride is or whatever, that might be a good like reference point to see like what it's like. It's flat as a pancake out there.
Oh yeah, I think it's like 16 feet of elevation gain over the 12.3 miles, something ridiculously low. So, but we will set that up, and we're another big emphasis on the Eddie category. We'll have a bunch of juniors categories out there, all of the different age group categories for your traditional TT bikes, and we're gonna have a bunch of stuff to give away and prizes and raffles, and we're gonna have food again, hopefully better food, and it's just gonna be a very party-like atmosphere. Hopefully,
good.
Don't want people to just show up, do a race, and leave. We want them to stick around, and we want it to be more of an experience and kind of celebrate it and have fun, like Michael would have appreciated.
Yeah, I'll bring those Wahoo rollers again. I don't think that many people used them, but they're great for like warming up because you can put any bike on them, and there you go.
Yeah, I remember last year. I rode my new bike for the very first time.
Right.
It wasn't that was literally the first time I rode it.
I remember when you were warming up, you were like, I need to borrow something to like put your batteries on. You had to like switch your batteries out from one thing to get power or something. I don't know. It was like last minute switches.
Yeah. And then my seat post wasn't totally locked in. It didn't have the carbon paste on it. While I was out there riding, it slipped down like about an inch during the actual race.
Yeah, quad burn.
Yeah, that was stupid. But hey, that's what you do sometimes. Cool. All right. Anything else, you guys?
That's it.
No more.
That's it.
Should we let Lance go back to his little bougie cycling camp here?
Got dinner.
Is the top of that yurt open, or is that a window, or is that open to the skies?
It's a window. It's a skylight. You can crank it open if it gets hot here.
Do you have air conditioning in there?
Yep, it is. Right.
Oh, look at that. Okay. Yeah. Lance is literally inside of a yurt right now, but it actually looks pretty cool, and it's a pretty big space. You can spread out pretty good, and you've got it all to yourself. So, I mean, you're not in a house with a bunch of other people. I think that I almost would prefer that, to be honest with you.
Yeah,
that's just
nice.
me, but I like my alone time. Cool. All right. We will be back next week with another one of these, and until then, bye for now.